All right, all right.
Grand Finals is just a week away, but today we got to figure out who we are sending for that second slot for a date with Maryland. Welcome everyone to NACE Starleague. My name, Eric Desrex Beltran. Joining me on the desk is none other than Travis Travesty Powers. Are you hyped today? Because this is our top three, Travie.
I am absolutely hyped for it. I got, date night with Eric. We got a nice candlelit feature here. And we got two teams with some revenge on the mind of one of these squads here.
Yeah. This is not date night. This is fight night. This is vengeance right here because we got a salty run back coming our way. Let's take a look at what we have scheduled up because this one, we've seen this match before. University of Central Florida taking on the University of California, Berkeley. Again, we saw this in the upper bracket. Berkeley took a 2-0 and sent Central Florida, who have been fighting back in the lower bracket since.
Yes, Central Florida has been fighting for their lives down here in the lower bracket. And I'm sure that every single fight that they have had to come out, that they have had to survive through to make it to that next level, they've thought back and just, Berkeley. As Berkeley's been doing pretty good for themselves. They got themselves all the way to here, and then they ended up dropping as well. Their journey, they're looking to try and continue it, but they got a hard-fought battle ahead of them.
Dropping just shy of the finals to Maryland. So they would love to take that salty run back, but Central Florida has one of their own. Let's get acquainted with these teams, Travis. Starting over for Central Florida. In the top lane, it will be Trigger Jumper. In the jungle, Kinjar. Mid lane, OP Quid, ADC, Cody Dunn, and support Zyro.
Yeah, but over on the side of Berkeley, they got Dark Lord in the top lane. FNZ, Dunk in the jungle. Puppers in the mid lane. Spiky in the bot lane role, as well as T1G2, J2 over in that support role.
Okay, they've been flipping the roles on us. I want to see what they've been doing. A lot of teams still do this when it comes to NACE Starleague. It is what it is. It happens sometimes, and sometimes it does slip up a little bit of the scouting, a little bit of the research some teams are looking at. But let's get into the grand scheme of things. Looking over on Central Florida side, I do want to start off with Kinjar because he was one of the last players we saw performing last week when Rebel was here and Central Florida were fighting for this matchup. Kinjar did not jungle, Travi. He did not jungle at all. 10 minutes in, he had more kill participation than he took camps.
Which is a very funny thing. It just throws me back to season 3, old school style of jungling. Back when it was just like, pick me Alistar, let's go. Alistar J4 were your two champions you did. You ganked, you do not do camps at all. I'm very excited because of the fact that also started off of a mistake, an unfortunate mishaps that everybody got to see. It was televised. So, being able to recover from something like that and just absolutely feast on the opposing team is a pretty admirable trait, I would say.
Yeah. Let's update the audience real quick. He died to a jungle camp to start off that game and puts on one of the most dominant jungle performances you've ever seen. It was mind-blowing. Rebel couldn't believe what he was seeing. We just started this whole narrative where we kept tracking how many camps were up at the same time. His whole jungle was up and he was still ganking lanes. Like, Kinjar is a wild man. On the opposite side of things, we've seen wild things come out of UC Berkeley as well. We did see one of those matches where they were willing to pull out, what was it? The Draven in the bot lane. What other picks did they have in that one, Travi?
I believe that was also the Lucian Flex game.
Lucian Flex game, right.
Yep. The one that I didn't enjoy. But it is a very interesting thing to think about champions like Draven coming into the fold because they're very lane dominant. We see them actually be those very feast or famine champions. They either get to cash in on all the adoration or they live a very sad, lonely, broke life. And that becomes the journey that the Draven has to go through. Am I expecting Draven in this series? Probably not, but it's something that I feel like every AD carry keeps their minds on, especially the support role as well. They look over and like, man, this guy plays Draven on me. Can I walk up? What can I do in this matchup? So I'm keeping my eyes peeled on that, especially because, new AD carries have been rising up the fold. We've seen some champions like Samira popping up yet again here and there inside the amateur collegiate scene. So very excited to see what new champions might appear.
All right, you're talking about new champions. We talked about it a little bit before the game, Trevi, before this started up. Wukong in the jungle. Now, this is something that's been practiced a lot by Kinjar. It's getting practiced a lot by Dark Lord. Trigger Jumper already plays it on that top lane as a weak side champion. So I have a lot of expectations to see this pick go through.
If you've been living under a rock and you don't know why Wukong all of a sudden is rising up in priority for the jungle, to break it down for you, there was one very subtle change. You look through and you see all the cooldowns. They made a change that was very big. You can now, when you do your clone, you always were able to have a short dash. Now you can go over walls. You didn't used to have that. Mobility is such a fantastic thing inside of the jungle just in general. If you're able to be mobile and take unique gank paths, that's why we've seen champions like Zac become meta defining for a long period of time in the past. Rek'Sai, all these champions that are able to take these unique paths are great. Wukong has a pretty good clear and is able to very swiftly gank, has good gank of potential because of the fact he has that dash that he's able to come in with, high base damage. It's just a very good pick at the current moment in time. And as you were just talking about, Eric, it is a flex pick. You can play this in the top lane if you so choose, and it's still an admirable pick. It gives a lot to the team, and it does provide quite a fantastic bit of utility.
I've been liking some of the Reddit posts I've been seeing on Wukong demonstrating these new techniques to hopping over the wall. There's one in the Raptor camp. You just got to get all the way in there, hop to where the wood meets, and you can just get through it no problem. So creative pathing, and this creative pathing means a lot when it comes to the mid lane because we're talking about that matchup of OP Quid versus Spiky Buffalo. I want to start on the side of Berkeley with this one because Spiky Buffalo, he's a spicy player. He likes the Annie, he likes the flames, he likes grabbing the Predator, but something he's been working on as of recently in a solo queue games has been the Kennen.
Yeah, Kennen mid's interesting because I feel like every time I talk to a mid laner, whenever it starts popping up, it's kind of in the same vein of what mid lane Rumble would present for you. Kennen's a great champion for the fact you just can build pen and it feels really good. You can get your hourglass, feels really good. You become an initiator. You can fight around the dragon pit early game. It becomes a very nasty thing, and I think it lends itself to his pool. You were talking about it being very spicy, but he also plays the Annie, as you were talking about, and these are champions that are not hard to execute upon when it comes down to team fighting scenarios. It's very self-explanatory. You're playing Annie, find Tibbers. If you're playing Kennen, hey, you want to hit that slicing maelstrom, and you want to just proto belt in. It's very self-explanatory. It's very easy. It's team fight focus, as well as having a very good laning phase. Ken and Annie are actually pretty hard to deal with in lane because they have very, very good range and very good trade patterns.
And that's the thing about this collegiate level. You see the meta that you see at LCS or, LCK, anywhere else. It's not just copy and paste from level to level to level. In collegiate level, it is going to have its own meta. There are going to be champions that stand out more than others. Annie has been one of those that has been so prominent. Veigar, another one over in the mid lane for these collegiate players in their roles. And if it works, you can't really blame them for going into that wheelhouse too much. One player we haven't talked about much at all is Cody Dunn on the side of Central Florida. This is a player that has popped off so many times for Central Florida. He's been really pivotal for their success, plays into a lot of these scaling ADCs, Travi.
Yeah, just wait until Cody's done with you is basically how I like to look at it. He is a monster inside of the world when he gets to that point where he's able to pop off. We see Cody Dunn is able to hit these different power spikes to really be able to execute upon once he hits those item thresholds. Just super keen, and honestly probably one of the most consistent high DPM champions.
All right, the draft finally ready. Sorry for the little bit of the delay there, but now it is time for the lower bracket finals. University of California, Berkeley versus University of Central Florida. Let us know in Twitch chat who you think is going to win. This is the salty run back, so Central Florida, they got something to prove.
Yeah, they got something to prove. They proved that they're not going to have to worry about finding Tibbers. I like that. Also seeing the assassin bands coming out from Berkeley. I really like this. Kiana, Akali, away, as well as the Malzahar. These bands very focused, and I like them, even though they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum of what they're due.
Now, two picks we were expecting to be a little bit more on the contested side. The Wukong, I don't expect it to be a ban. I do expect it to be picked up a little bit more commonly now. The Volibear is one that's going to be, I'm going to be wondering about a lot. Both for Kinjar and Dark Lord, it plays towards their styles. It's a great B1 pick, even on red side to be able to grab that. It's great for diving, which Kinjar, when he's farming more champions than he is his jungle camps, well, he loves to dive. So we'll see what this final ban is going to come out to be. University of Central Florida, just hard into that mid lane pool.
Yeah, going deep into it. Both of them really just trying to say, hey, yo, this is what we want to play for. We'll see what that last ban is. I'm with you. I think Volibear is high priority. I think getting your preferred AD carry here will be great as well. Wukong is the first pick. I'm a little bit surprised about that. It still has that flexibility, so it still makes sense.
Yeah.
It's up to Central Florida to lock themselves in some champions here. I hope they don't just lock themselves into a jungle matchup immediately, unless it's something that they feel very confident with.
All right, you ready for that last ban, Travi?
Yes.
It's Draven.
Draven. Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to let him play it. Unfortunately, T1J2, not allowed, but Lilia getting locked in. Now, if Ravish was here, he would be popping off right now because he's been waiting to see the Lilia top of all places. We still got a while in the draft,
Eric.
We still got a while in the draft before we see if that's going to be the case. But it's not just going to be Ravish's wheelhouse to pop off. And oh my goodness, UC Berkeley quick with the response in the Ornn and the Lucian. We got to catch up, Travi. Go ahead, take us.
Very aggressive mid game coming out here from Berkeley. I really like this idea here. You got the Ornn in the top lane, one of the best top laners in the game right now. You can pick it blind very successfully almost all the time. You just get your other priority picks, and Ornn always flies under the radar. Great champion to pick up. Goes well with the synergy of Wukong. Lucian's able to dash forward as well. This Wukong also gives you an idea of this could be either mid or in the bot lane. But this is a champion that slid under the radar as well. You see an Ornn picked up. Gangplank was not banned. So this becomes a very easy pick for Central Florida to be able to assert themselves with. This is very, very nice. I like the Gangplank pick here.
A big response. And from Trigger Jumper, who over on that top side, from 1 week, he was that weak side Wonder Boy. Second week, he's carrying the game. So he's proven very, very capable. Now stepping away from more of these bruisers that we've seen him on, going into that carry role with the GP.
Yeah, GP is great for being able to do that. It gives you some cross map play as well. You can see that there's a lot of picks that are still going to come out towards the top side though. This could be a mid lane Gangplank. We've seen it. The bust that Gangplank got basically made everybody turn around and say, oh yes, I am a Gangplank player now.
Up, Travi. Got to interrupt you right there. Gangplank is not Gangplank. That is Braum that was locked in for Central Florida.
I am tremendously sad.
Me too.
I mean, Braum plus Misfortune makes a lot of sense. We've actually seen this combo from Central Florida multiple times now. They can be very aggressive. They can get a very quick successive kills.
And it's a good response to the Ornn.
Yeah, it's a good response to Ornn. It's good to take it away from Lucian. They banned out the other two supports that would be good to pair alongside with a Lucian AD carry. If you put this Lucian in the mid lane role, you're looking at possibly an AP carry bot laner. So see what that response may be. Gangplank is still available. All the things that I talked about could still be true.
That's true. We need a placeholder for the placeholder now. So top lane bans coming out for UC Berkeley as they're going to take away both the Jace and the Kled for the topside role. Really targeting over towards TJ from Central Florida, who again, he has not picked in Gangplank yet. That is Braum locked in. So counter pick will be available for Central Florida. They got their solo lanes to go for. So we'll see what they lock in here. And they're going to go straight for the Malphite. So
this is good. This is very good. This is a purely AD composition currently from Berkeley. And Malphite loves those. He takes those every day of the week. Berkeley needs to lock themselves some sort of a mid damage threat. A Lutz. That's a support Lutz, I do believe. You could play it mid lane, but we've seen that a lot more in that support role, just being that AP carry with the quotation marks of support, and a LeBlanc. So Berkeley going really in on this mid-game supremacy.
All right. Lux and LeBlanc, that is some, yeah, as you said it, mid-game supremacy. There is a lot of damage. You know, you do got some T-fight potential. Big thing here is going to be that jungle Wukong. You get that Cyclone. Anytime you really want it, just call it on over. Say, hey, gank my lane. We got some monkey business to handle. Now, University of Central Florida, one more pick out for them, and they're going to go with Tryndamere.
Oh, Tryndamere in the mid lane. That's going to be a very exciting one to see. This makes a lot of sense too. They have actually a good amount of team fighting potential for themselves. And I like Tryndamere mid. It works out very well situationally. LeBlanc tends to favor a lot of melee champion matchups just because it's very easy to just like do your little shenanigans where you just keep distorting back and forth and be the biggest nuisance of their life. So I personally really like the draft that came out from Central Florida. I think they actually have quite a few win conditions for themselves. And the big thing that's bad for Berkeley is their composition. While they have that mid-game supremacy, late game, it falls off very swiftly.
Yeah. They're going to have to play this game fast, Ravi. It is a mid-game spike, but it is a strong one that they get to play with in that mid-game. We'll see if they can capitalize. We are going to take a moment to throw over a short break. When we return, we'll get into game one of our lower bracket finals between Central Florida and UC Berkeley. Welcome back, everyone, to NACE Starleague. We are still getting loaded on the Rift, but while we have a couple of seconds, let's tell you about one of our sponsors, and that is going to be Mavix. Now, uh, Mavix chairs are designed with gaming in mind, locking wheels to keep you in place, cooling and breathable fabrics to keep your body and butt dry, deep recline to allow your body to go super far back, and most importantly, ergonomics. Our chairs put you in the proper ergonomic position that helps increase blood flow and stress. So, if you want a proper gaming chair to pick up, be sure to check out our sponsor, Mavix. Now, let's get into the game at hand. We do have a draft that we were just talking about a little bit earlier, but we do want to put a little bit more evaluation to it, right, Travi? One of the big things we saw from UC Berkeley is that mid-game fight that they have, is that mid-game draft they have, the LeBlanc, the Lucian, small team fighting tools to be able to complement that with the Ornn and the Wukong. What are your thoughts so far on UC Berkeley?
I think Berkeley. So the ideal situation for them, and this is usually about like what Ornn boils down to. Ornn is one of the most fantastic champions at being able to initiate a fight and be a big win in your team fight for CC. He doesn't like to start things off. Even though he is an initiator, he would much rather be the person to follow up an initiation. This is where the mid game fight comes into play. You actually have this interesting dynamic where the Wukong can go in and start a fight just on the drop of a dime, snap your fingers, and Wukong is there spinning to win. This allows Ornn to be able to call the Forge God in and be able to smack him up. You get 2 charges of the Cyclone. So, what that CC means is LeBlanc can choose their position on which way they want to enter the fight, and the same can be said for the Lucian, as well as the Lutz gets a perfect ample time to be able to go for bindings. In the mid game, this is where a lot of these champions are going to be at their strongest. They also have pretty good early game, especially inside the bot side of the map and inside the mid lane. So keeping our eyes peeled on that possible team fight because they don't want to clump up. I want to go ahead and throw this point over to the other side. What's the counterplay for UCF? I'm going to be real. They have the R button from Malphite, which is if you clump up for a team fight, it's very simple. What other counterplay do they have? They have Braum. If Braum times his shields correctly and uses it just to deny the Ornn, that is fantastic ability being used. So there's a couple things that they have to keep in mind for UCF on how they deny them, because you've got the Malphite ult, you got the Tryndamere who can be unhinged in your backline, and also there is Lilia who will sing you a wilting lullaby very easily, especially if you clump.
And one of the things talking on UC Berkeley's side was a little bit of a time bomb, right? They only got that mid-game spike because for Central Florida, you give a little bit of income to Misfortune, you give a little income to Tryndamere, and they can pop off very, very quickly. And Tryndamere kind of plays it in both ways. He can be a side lane menace who's just constantly pushing those waves and crashing into the towers, trying to take 1v1s under your tower, and then he can transfer into a team fight tool to go after that backline to try and lock down the Lux, to try and lock down the Lucian and take them down in a quick manner. These lane states, I'm going to be watching in the mid game to see how Central Florida are going to look to affect them to get that lane online, to get the Tryndamere going, who is playing from the mid role for Central Florida.
Yeah, the Tryndamere popping off will be nice because you can side lane effectively. Who answers you, right? Like the LeBlanc, sure, she can jump in there and possibly clear waves, but she has to run away as soon as you show your face. So I'm very curious to see. I'm also curious to see what build we'll see from Coney-Dunn, because last time we saw him was playing amidst of different builds, was also building the Leandri's build that we got to see a couple weeks back. So I am very curious on what the midst damage might possibly be for this team.
I forgot about that. That was one of the most disgusting counters that we'd ever seen, just locking in the AP Misfortune for the bot lane. And I forget what team it was. It's a team that plays towards bot side very, very heavily. But Central Florida just handed them their ticket right on out through some of the play they were able to have. I believe that was Concordia that they went against. That was the match where they just went for the straight counter in the bot lane.
I believe you are correct in that. I would have to go back and just fact check it, but I believe you are correct. And it was a very interesting thing too, because UCF, they have had these games where they kind of just chill until the mid game. Like they get some nice leads for themselves in different lanes, but it's never like an oppressive lead. And then it's like all of a sudden the mid game comes about and then they start to pop off. So UCF also knows that they are very comfortable as players in terms of their play style, looking for those mid-game fights. And depending on what this misfortune goes, they actually have a very disgusting little bit of wombo for themselves. I talked about it earlier, Malphite pressing the R key, hitting them with that unstoppable force. Lilia gets the charge forward while the distraction is being had. And a Glacial Fissure to top things off can be a very, very troublesome feat to deal with. And if you stack a bullet time on top, especially an AP one with all that burn, that's disgusting.
Puppers, she's able to land that light binding. Now J2 forced to burn the flash to get away to stop the stun from going through. One more auto would land a stun onto Puppers, but Puppers will get stunned up from the winner's bite. Luckily, towards safety, being towards the alcove. And a quick trade coming out, not even level 2, level 1, they're skirmishing at half health.
This is what I love about casting here, man. These bot lanes are so bloodthirsty. It's like every single game I've watched, they have just been out for blood. They don't care about CS.
No.
They don't care about minions. They are here to send a message, and that's what you want to see when you're locking in MF and Lucian. These are aggressive AD carries in the laning phase, and Braum is a champion that gets slept on so much and is one of the most oppressive, especially when you're able to move around inside of fights correctly.
And things can get devastating for the bot lane if any mispositioning comes out of Puppers. If she gets too close to a minion wave, it's very easy for Zyro to just hop onto a minion and tag her to start up that concussive blows to get the stun. That being said, though, it goes both ways. Light binding is available. Landing onto a melee, getting that harassment onto a melee is always pretty big. But here comes Dark Lord into the bottom lane. Got to be careful. Gonna get stunned up. Zyro will block with that unbreakable. Now Kinjar coming in from the back. Zyro does not go down. First blood will go to Kinjar. And now he's here to show up with a double kill. It's a 2-for-2 exchange so far, but looking to make that 3 as Kinjar. Just a couple more autos, a little bit more work to do. Dark Lord wants to turn it around. He brings the cane and slams it right down onto Kinjar. You see Berkeley taking that fight, but just barely in the bot side, but this flips over in the top side as Dunk is able to take down TJ.
So many things went wrong there. One, Kinjar, the mantra is greed equals speed, and definitely has experienced that. Got a little bit greedy, did not respect the cooldowns of Wukong in that instant. Immediately got the play turned around in their head. And then we flip over to the top side of the map with Trigger going for the 1v1 with Dunk. That's a hard matchup for Malphite to win unless the Ornn misplays. It looked like he had a little bit of a fumble there, but still, it's not one that you win early on. You're throwing cheese wheels, buddy.
Tough exchange over there in the top lane. You know, gotta love it for Dunk, who's able to get that 1v1 early on the Ornn. Ornn brings a lot of damage, man. Even though he's a tank, it can be devastating. Now Spiky Buffalo in the mid lane, caught out here. The Ghost has been popped. OP Quid hopping over the wall, going after the right choice. Will not be deceived by the clone. Gets the kill in the mid lane.
Very good decision making coming out from OP Quid. Lupo summoners by bot lane.
This is chaos as Dark Lord shows up going after Cody Dunn. Puppers, she puts down the Lucent Singularity. It's not going to be needed. Provides a slow, though. A return of fire coming out of Kinjar. You see Berkeley able to grab Cody Dunn in the bot lane.
Target has been set. This is the big weakness of Misfortune, and that's what a lot of people end up feeling. Very immobile champion. Oppressive in lane, no dashes, no way to be able to escape. You have an AoE slow that you have to make use of, and your movement speed that will assist you. But when you're in the middle of trading, especially against a Lucian Lutz, that's a very troublesome formula that you're going to have to try and figure out the solution for, especially since Misfortune will naturally push it. They're just using their abilities to trade.
And it's kind of shocking because look how much bloodshed has gone in the bot lane. And only one of those kills has gone to a bot laner. Pupper, she was able to get one of those exchanges, but that's it right there. It's mostly been jungle cleanup for this game, and we did say the jungle was going to have a big impact.
Oh, indeed. This is Lilia Wukong are two very high impact junglers. Lilia has been seeing a little bit more love as the residential AP carry that you can play in the jungle. Usually there is one at any given time that you can possibly play. Right now it's Lilia's turn in the spotlight. Hasn't been in it for quite a bit of time. and getting that mobility. I like the Sort Boots option coming in for early itemization. Move speed's very important. Is actually running Dark Harvest as well for the Keystone. So very, very excited to see if Kinjar will be able to continue keeping the impact going. But Dark Lord, we hyped it up inside of the early game in the draft. This Wukong is such a strong pick and is so good at being able to set up plays. You can see Kinjar not done with Spiky Buffalo either.
Been so impactful. Kinjar now in this mid lane. Not really finding too much here. It's very hard to lock down Spiky Buffalo. OP Quid did a fantastic job earlier, but 9 times out of 10, it is still a very tricky thing to guess who is going to be the clone, to catch up with the distortions. Even with Flashdown, it's a tall task to be able to gank a LeBlanc, but Dragon secured. Now a fight in the bottom lane. Pupper's trying to back off, so is Cody done, but J2 has Cody's number. We'll get that kill over in the bot side. UC Berkeley's bot lane finally getting kills onto the bot laners, and they didn't need that jungler intervention.
Yeah, this is a disaster moment. Cody Dunn does need to focus on staying back at this moment in time. Anytime that they try to find an aggressive moment onto Puppers, like that play was started with them tagging Puppers and saying, all right, it's a mobile Lutz. Every single time we've gone after those Lutz, we have beaten them in the 2v2. Lucian has gotten a bit of a lead, has the quiver, has a lot more damage in comparison to the Misfortune, who at that time basically had a tear in the Doran's ring. Does not have any damage that can be provided extra, and Lucian, when he's able to sit onto you and hit you with his full barrage of abilities and just continuously just double tap you and put you down like that, that's just the solution that happens. Dark Lord, I want to highlight yet again though, has been spending so much time in this bot side putting pressure down too, that I feel like it is definitely being felt by Cody Dunn and Zyro, as you can see a little bit of them getting a little bit too out of there. They're being a little bit too overzealous in the idea of making that play happen.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been felt. I mean, Cody has 3 deaths. He's been filling it all game so far, Trevi. To his credit, though, he has kept up with farm quite decently. Given the state of the game that they're at, this is not too devastating. You know, J2 hasn't completed his first item yet, so he still provides a lot of damage, but it's not the Lucian we're expecting. Now Kinjar focusing down here into the bottom lane. Does have level 6, so that ultimate just waiting to be popped. Not much HP left for everyone else, and now here comes an engage from J2. Just jumping forward with the relentless pursuit, and there is the sleep. Is it going to be enough? Pupper, she's going critically low. Cody will jump in, finishing off the kill. Bullet time being channeled, but J2 will dash on out. A kill for the bot lane of University of Central Florida.
Beautifully done there. They didn't hesitate to pull the trigger onto the immobile Lutz. I love to see it, but this does open up the tables for a gank onto Trigger Jumper inside of the top lane.
He has a splash. Call the Forge God going to be used. Now popping, but gets popped into the air. Dunk with the knockup, a double knockup thanks to that Cyclone, as Dark Lord will wail away on the rock, eventually able to break him. Trigger Jumper goes down. You see Berkeley, a lot of success on this top side, but it is not done. Here comes Kinjar, here comes OP Quid. Now Dunk looking to get away from this, only has half health. OP Quid still has his ultimate, so he's happy to swing away, but Kinjar doesn't have the same luxury. Tries to run away, but the cane gets dropped. Dark Lord able to grab that one, but here it is. He is Angie. OP Quid has popped the ulti, and he will grab the shutdown. Now walking away from Spiky. Final spark goes out. She's able to land it right onto the money as Trigger Jumper only showing up late to this fight with the teleport. A display coming out of UC Berkeley, rewarded with so much in income onto these primary carries. I mean, you got 5 kills for the Wukong. Go ahead and look at what's going for UC Berkeley. It is bright for their future.
Yeah, it's bright for the future if you look at the Wukong. I do want to stress that 2 kills were given over to the Tryndamere, and we saw some gold going over to the Lilia. So good fight for Berkeley. That's great for them. They need to continue to keep the gas pedal accelerating for themselves, because if they can come into the mid game with this powerful Wukong and this continues to spill across the map, it's great for them. But it is worrisome that one person on the team they absolutely want to keep down, this Tryndamere, did get himself 2 kills in that scenario.
Absolutely right. Hasn't completed the first item just yet. We are 11 minutes into this, so Not a devastating spot to be, but we're just about there. Still CSing well has been OP Quid, but look at the focus now. Look at the attention. It is towards the bot side. OP Quid's roaming towards that area. He doesn't have his ultimate this time. The Undying Rage will not be channeled. Now Kinjar is able to land on the Pupper's final spark while the Drowsy goes off, but there is the Glacial Fissure. Pupper so low, can't get out in time. The chain's gonna be used, but there is the Cyclone, finds a knock up on the 2, looking to find Kinjar. Zyro running away, still a tanky boy, gonna go ahead and feed that kill over to J2. We'll get it with that relentless pursuit, double up on shots, a double kill coming out for J2.
Beautifully done, and it ends up being Puppers as the sacrifice. Has to be the tribute. Unfortunately, is getting picked on for that mobility here inside of the game by UCF, but immediately capitalizing on the overstep. Cody Dunn is very, very much so still weak inside of the game, inside the scope of these scraps. This equals up to the Ocean Dragon. We have ourselves a Cloud Soul inside of the game. So Berkeley, expanding a little bit of their lead slowly and capitalizing on some errors that UCF are trying to push the envelope on.
Yeah, but I do want to point out, even with the gold staying towards the even side, it still falls very heavily into the hands of UC Berkeley. As they get towards this mid-game stage, that is when they're going to spike. They have to act on that window. That is going to be a big thing for UC Berkeley. That being said, though, if they don't get too much done, University of Central Florida can find a very strong comeback. The tools you were talking about earlier, that Tryndamere getting fed, Cody Dunn able to get some kills on top of that. You can see Central Florida now setting up towards this bottom side. Yeah, Kraken Slayer picked up by OP Quid. And Pupper's not afraid to show that final spark.
No, not. I mean, why would you be with the cooldown as short as that, right? That's one of the perks of playing Lutz. You just get to throw out that ultimate as much as you possibly want. Throw it up off cooldown, if you will. Opiquid actually got a lot of plates here too, almost at the 4th plate. Turtlane's about to fall. Here comes another fight.
Oh, Spiky Buffalo able to dodge away from the winner's bite. OP Quid getting knocked up. Does he have the Undying Rage? Answer's going to be yes. Going to try and take that to take it to J2, but gets knocked up once again thanks to the Cyclone. Pupper, she's able to grab that kill. Zyro hops away. Here comes the bullet time into the face of Dark Lord, but Dark Lord will pay no heed to it, going right after Zyro, waiting for one more dash. Gonna find it now. Cody Dunn blasted back away with the blast plant. It is clean in the bot side of the map for UC Berkeley.
Dark Lord is so good.
So good on that Wukong.
That Wukong is absolutely just disgusting inside of the scope of that fight. If I could, I want to just bring up the fact of how Wukong was able to move around inside that fight. Bullet time utilized to try and spot away the rest of the team. It doesn't matter. Wukong has a staff that will reach all. And Dark Lord is putting on a fantastic performance, an absolute clinic. And we were talking about it earlier. This jungle matchup is so important. You were seeing it showcased here live. And you can see why a lot of people are playing this.
7K on this Wukong. Dark Lord keeping up with his marksman in the bot lane. And the KDAs are keeping up as well. You know, 615 for J2, 617 for Dark Lord. The gold this mid game is going to be massive for UC Berkeley, but keep in mind, OP Quid just now able to take that mid lane tower, cashing that gold for himself. Will be spotted out on the rotation, but not much to worry.
Yeah, this is also a Tryndamere. I did talk about very shortly that the fact that this Tryndamere went Kraken Slayer. You see a lot of Tryndameres either go this or the Gale Force option. This is just because look at what happens to Ornn.
Yeah. This is painful right now. Waiting for that call of the Forge God, but we'll get flashed on. Here comes the retaliation from Dark Lord. Will land the shot. There is no Undying Rage for OP Quid. Fight might continue though as Puppers. She's able to spot out Zyro. Zyro will sidestep the light binding. Inside track belongs to University of Central Florida while they clear the wave.
This is what we just saw, by the way. There will be replays of that happening throughout the game with the Kraken Slayer build. If it's not Wukong answering the Tryndamere, possibly the Lucian. If Lucian does not get stuck onto it, did go the Essence Reaver second item, so is going to be able to kind of be a spell weaver with those guns, an AD spell weaver, being able to jump around inside of the fights and be able to skirt around. It will be an interesting thing. Normally as an AD carry, it doesn't matter how mobile you are, you just don't want to deal with a Tryndamere in any day of the week. So we'll see if that possibly is an answer, but this is what UCF is going to do. It's going to be Tryndamere splitting the rest of the time. It will always be in one of these side lanes. It's more than likely not going to look for any team fight presence. Has this Kraken Slayer. He is in this come to me, see what happens mode.
And Dunk might look to challenge that. I'm not sure if you want to, though. You saw the Undying Rage wasn't popped in the last fight. He has to have it up right now. Still going to go for the contest underneath the tower. Able to get the knock-up. Dunk gets him low. It's going to force the Undying Rage out early. A couple of whacks away. It's ring around the rosies, and Dunk will get the better of OP Quid.
He got so played there.
Oh.
That was a kill every day of the week, as long as you didn't need that initial bit of CC. Like, Kipchar does at least get the kill. No assist for the Tryndamere. This does give over third dragon uncontested. Wukong gets this by himself, so sole point for Berkeley.
That was brutal. Hey, it hurts to be played that way, but hey, sometimes that's what it is.
Oh, that was on
turret,
camera.
Absolute best friend of Dunk. Relationship ended with Dark Lord. My best friend is now the turret.
It's a hard place to be. To be fair, very hard place to be. The pressure is definitely there. When you look at the scoreboard in a series like this, this is, to reiterate, this is an elimination match. This is do or die for these teams. This is Herald being summoned. This is a play. 4 members are topside.
No, it's Dunk's best friend. You can't take him down like that, Shelly. Don't. Knockup comes out, trigger jumper, backs off, but there is the objective bounty picked up. Dunk, it's so sad. It's so sad. He looks at the remains. But OP Quid, what's going on over here?
It's Dark
Lord.
Lord.
Chased out by Dark Lord. OP Quid having to take the recall. Did not have his Undying Rage, so that would have been a kill right there. Dark Lord just going to counter jungle. This has been a wild game, Travi.
Yeah, it's been a very good game of UCF versus Dark Lord 70. I mean, you can't help but talk about that as the narrative, though. Every time this Wukong is on the map and you see somebody from UCF in the vicinity, they are in range to have the worst kind of CC possible for them, the gray screen. And he is great at being able to enable that. He's 7-1-7. He's got the Sunderer plus Death's Dance. Who deals with this Wukong at this current moment in time? I talked about mid-game itemization. This Wukong is so far ahead of everybody else. It is a terrifying situation, and this is where he's at his strongest, and he's ahead of everybody else who's still trying to get out of the early game itemization.
But Central Florida have been playing a lot towards OP Quid on this Tryndamere. He's gotten some turrets by himself. He's been CSing incredibly well in the side lanes with this split push, and he's about to bank on an objective bounty. 350 gold put into the pocket of this Tryndamere. That's going to be a second item completed. He is getting towards those deadly, deadly stages.
He is. He's going to get the reset and finish off his second item. Great for him. He's going to need it. He's going to be splitting bot lane for the rest of the time until Dragon's about to spawn. This is going to be, he's got the quick blades now. So going to be bot side. The reason why Baron is about to spawn, the one person who can deal with him is Wukong. 7-1-7, like I was just talking about. If you bait Wukong all the way down to bot lane and you engage in a long overdue chase, or you send multiple members, possible pull for the Baron. The problem is they don't have a very fast Baron tank. So the strategy is there, but it is going to be hard to execute, and it's going to require a lot of communication. We actually see Tryndamere going to top side, so it was valuing being on the top side near this Baron area.
Yeah, you got to have him there. Keep in mind, this is a mid lane Tryndamere, so he doesn't have the teleport, opted in for the ghost in the mid lane. And with that being a thing, it means he needs to be near the action point, and the action is happening around this Baron ramp. Glacial Fish are going to go out. Zyro able to make the retreat, waiting for that bullet time. It is channeled. Dark Lord will spin on out of that one. But there's the light binding. It lands. Soda's trigger jumper able to slam in with the unstoppable force. No one going down, though. A very close fight for both squads.
That was without the Ornn. The Ornn is coming, and he's got the call of the Forge Gall on Colette on speed dial right now.
Oh, he's waiting to bring it in, but Zyro is there. Zyro can block it with the Unbreakable, so Dunk is picking and choosing when he's going to pop that ultimate. Doesn't want to sacrifice it for nothing. So now just going to go for a stalemate. The lower bracket finals between UC Berkeley and Central Florida. Man, they are bringing it, and they're not done bringing it just yet. Dunk bumping into OP Quid. Zyro giving the blast plan over, so finally going to get a lull in this. Nope. Nope.
Just gonna keep going in on it. This is just repeated.
Disgusting.
Don't.
Just gonna keep doing it. His health bar is getting lower, but he's got a lot of time. With that Undying Rage, the flash away. OP Quid just got outplayed. This is the end for him, and Dark Lord is cashing in.
This is why I was saying I would actually probably prefer him to be bot side, because even if he's bot side, you can threaten something, right? The Wukong has to think with urgency of like, okay, is this something that I actually go for in this moment in time? It becomes a bit more of a concern of where your Wukong is positioning, and maybe Dark Lord has to hesitate a little bit. Maybe it messes with their shot calling a little bit more so. But instead, now we have a fight around this dragon. Spawning in 20 seconds, Tryndamere is going to be walking over to the objective by the time it has started, if Berkeley is able to continue pushing their way forward.
Berkeley with prime positioning on this one. Dark Lord is losing a little bit of health. Kinjar has to flash over the wall, gets caught by the chains! Final spark from Puppers. She will land right on the money, and there's the knockup coming through, but it's Dunk 1v3. He's willing to take this one. He's got a lot of stats, a lot of defensive stats, a lot of armor. It's 1v4 now. He's taking a full loss. He doesn't care. He's going over. He finally falls, but it took 4, Travi. It took 4, and Berkeley took a Drake.
Well, the fact that Dunk just bought so much time there. 4 members, as you said, just take it over. Oh no, Cyrus dead.
And it's not over just yet. Cyclone is available. That is so bad for Central Florida. Getting caught out in the rotation. Undying Rage gonna be used, but it only delays the inevitable. So many kills picked up. A kill a minute for UC Berkeley.
Bro, the most disgusting thing about that fight around Dragon was they didn't have to use any of their cooldowns.
Yeah!
Like, they literally had all their resources up.
What's this? Watch this. You have the Unstoppable Force. J2's running low. Flash available for Trigger Jumper. Could get on that backline ADC and make him explode. No flash available for J2, however. Now able to spot out. Trigger Jumper wants it. He wants it so bad. He will jump in. He will take J2's life. Now looking to back out of that one as he did pick up the shutdown. Final spark goes out. Puppers grabs that kill, but the Baron still on the menu for UC Berkeley. Zyro's going to give it a swing. He has the Glacial Fissure, and to try and get the damage over the wall will not be enough. The smite is too good, and Baron goes over to Berkeley.
No, it's also Kinjar. Never mind. Kinjar does not get dropped here.
Yeah, Kinjar's doing the killing over on the back line. Didn't even see that going through, but Kinjar still in away camps on top of it. The world is his oyster. Cody Dunn and Zyro.
Oh, no.
Now, did not get the jump over the wall. It's going to be suffering for Dunk, but here comes the Cyclone. Dark Lord's trying to show up. The split. Look at the positioning coming out from Central Florida. It makes it so hard to land this Cyclone as the bullet time goes out. Caught is Dunk, and Zyro will put the chair right into the back of his head. Central Florida, they're able to find some retaliation against Berkeley.
And that's huge retaliation. You take out a key member, you get shutdowns. You were able to stop a lot. What are the things that went wrong for the side of Berkeley? Yeah, sure, they misplayed a couple situations there. We already talked about it. The Wukong not able to jump over the wall and get that Cyclone into the backline as they wanted. Had to walk in through the front door. Not ideal for Dark Lord, but it's much bigger than that. That's shutdowns, those are kills, and that is another objective bounty.
My goodness, another objective bounty picked up. He's still farming. Second most CS. I do want to see what the gold's looking like pretty soon, because with all those objective bounties, with all that cashed in, you know, he's already working towards his next crit item. It's going to be so hard to stop this guy as he already has the quick blade. So getting that cooldown reduction from the crit, he's so sticky. It's a tough one to take down, and he's going to display that right onto Puppers. Puppers cannot escape. Undying Rage's OP Quid walks on out.
I just, like OP Quid is just a monster right now. This Tryndamere is so disgusting, Eric. Is actually so hard to deal with, and this is why I was spreading caution of the kills earlier getting shed over to OP Quid. OP Quid is a question that I don't think Berkeley have a good answer for, especially as the game goes on later and later, because your strongest member being Dark Lord, I still am not a fan of sending him over. We're at that point in time, I like the idea of picking up that grudge, getting the slow on your abilities on this solution will allow him to kite in a situation a little bit safer, but it's still a very tall order to have to deal with if you send him out into a split push. And to give an idea of how many resources they put onto OP Quid, look at the CS differential between this LeBlanc and the Tryndamere. The Tryndamere is almost at the Flame Horizon point. It's been sitting in the sidelines, has been doing all of this stuff, while LeBlanc has been focusing on trying to assist the team and try to possibly farm champions, and hasn't been successful as such.
And I don't blame Berkeley for going that route. We said it earlier. It's a mid-game team. They needed to make their plays in the mid-game. But this is starting to go awry now because the gold is relatively even and we're heading towards the late game. OP Quid is online. Infinity Edge completed. That crit is going to be so hard to deal with. Now Berkeley with the long range trying to get some poke in. You know, Dragon Soul was already picked up by Berkeley, so they have a lot to work with. You know, they're not out of the game just yet, but the power is starting to shift, Travi.
It is. It's becoming more and more harder for Wukong to be able to execute at this current moment in time. Ornn is splitting, has teleport available, so will be able to join in for a fight. There's no objective down here, which is very curious from the side of UCF. They are just giving this up. Oh!
Puppers gets dismantled. A sudden engage coming out of Central Florida. They'll take anyone.
It's not just that, LeBlanc.
And oh yeah, you're right. Here we go, going down. OP Quid finding that assassination onto the LeBlanc. Berkeley, they're so hurt right now. There's not much they can really contest, and the Elder Drake is spawning in 40. A tower going down in the top side. Berkeley will be able to claim that. Trigger Jumper will be up there to match. Teleports available for both top laners.
Teleports available for both top laners, but Spiky Buffalo is not going to be anywhere close for this dragon. That is huge to take note of. Trigger Jumper is going to be able to teleport in, won't have that unstoppable force by the time the fight starts up, but we already see that rage has been built up for OP Quid. This is danger. They are resorting to death brushing over and over again.
And so far, it's been looking good. Looking to get the concussive blows on to dunk. One more shot would do it. He becomes unstoppable. Finally gets snunned up. Call the Forge God going to come out. Will not be blocked away, but goes wide in the process. Berkeley losing one of their primary engage tools, and Central Florida say it's time for the Elder.
The Dark Lord's over here. Dark Lord still has Cyclone, Eric. He's looking for the play. Brom's here to block him.
I was trying to block. He's trying to block. He's going to flash in. It's going to be taken. It's going to be secured. Central Florida able to grab it, but one goes down. It's going to be OP Quid. The Cyclone being popped. Dark Lord, he has nowhere else to go. It's 4 members of Central Florida on top of them. But Central Florida grabbed the Elder Drake. It's such a clutch moment, Travi.
For the first time inside this game, they have the gold lead. They take control. We're 30 minutes in. The carriage is now a pumpkin.
The dreams are coming true, Travi. We are at that late game stage. Central Florida biding their time, Travi, biding it so hard. But here they are. They have the Elder Drake, and they're taking these team fights.
This is a rough scenario for Berkeley. They are trying to position themselves into something. You can actually see the gold difference here. Look at how massive, a almost 6K differential at 25 minutes, and it shrunk immediately after there. It has gone down tremendously, and now this is Baron. The Berkeley can't contest this. The team fighting prowess that is coming out from this composition that has been scaling into the later parts is so hard for them to deal with, and they cannot find the right angles.
This is the big challenge right here. Dark Lord, he's too far away. They're just going to concede this. They're just conceding this away. Oh my goodness, so close. So close was Puppers. She almost got that steal, but the smite on time for Kinjar. Baron power play, Travi, to Central Florida.
This is game number 1 here between these two. A fight back and forth. And now it's UCF. They've got the Baron buff. This is so handily in their favor for the way that they've been playing this game. Tryndamere can freely push a lane and nobody has an answer. Oh my gosh, Trigger Jumper.
Trigger Jumper misses the unstoppable force. Has to back off, gets rooted, taking a lot of the calling. His health is going lower and lower. Spiky Buffalo tries to challenge it, unable to get it. Final Spark not going to find its mark, but here we go. OP Quid looking to dive for the back line. There's 5 members right there looking to stop him. Puppers goes low, but doesn't get dropped. OP Quid is going to be the one to fall, and Central Florida now looking to back off. But a trade happens as a fall on Puppers is going to be met. Central Florida now opening up with the bullet time as they continue to try and find the siege. Baron empowered push. So far defended, UC Berkeley will stand strong.
It is a 1-for-1, but UCF missed everything in the fight. The unstoppable force cannot find its mark. Tryndamere in too deep. It is so many things that went wrong. Kimjar could not get the wilting lullaby, and it is the perfect storm, but Kimjar in a rough scenario.
Terrible spot. That's a kill going over to Spiky Buffalo. And now look at where Dark Lord is. He does not have the Cyclone, can't get the proper engage, but Dunk can find it, will find a knockup, gets it on the Trigger Jumper. Spiky Buffalo looking to front to back this as best as he can, but Dark Lord will go right after Cody. Cody gonna flash over the wall gates. Chase has to go golden as his teammates are falling. UC Berkeley fight their way right back into it.
Why are you over there right now? They have so many things that go their way. They're just going to hard push the end here. It is just Tryndamere versus the world. There were 5 members of Berkeley available. They have themselves the minions. They have a teleport. Orin is just going to TP onto a minion, and it's up to Tryndamere to make one last stand. Kinjar is going to be up. But is it enough? T1 even was like looking to back. The team is calling for it. They want the end.
Going for the end right now. Undying Rage available for OP Quid. Gonna go for the back line. Can't even pop his ultimate in time. Now Kinjar, 5 members on top of him. He is deleted. Soon to be the Nexus as well. Another knockup going through, looking to pad the KDAs. But look at the health bars starting to get low. This should be cleaned up right now. One more dash in with Extortion. It's done and dusted. A close game, Travi. UC Berkeley take it.
Yeah, unfortunately, UCF, they found themselves the dream scenario, but very quickly they took the wrong turn and ended up on the Boulevard of Broken Dreams inside of game number 1. They almost had that comeback, but Berkeley able to seize the day, find that one mistake, that one moment of overzealousness that came out from this squad from UCF, and Berkeley hammered the nail in there consecutively over and over, and UCF could not take the pressure.
And they needed to close out when they did, because you saw their grasp slipping when it came to that game. They were close to just losing it outright off of the scaling that we had going from Central Florida. You saw how good OP Quid was doing throughout the entirety of that game. It unfortunately just fell to the wayside off of one single play, chained beautifully by UC Berkeley. Man, what a display for this game number 1. What a way to start this off, Travi. I am excited. Considering this is the lower bracket finals, you know, we're getting a window of what these teams can bring for the grand finals. Either of these teams I'd be happy to see in the grand finals, but you know, it's a best of 3. We are going to take a moment to throw over a short break so we can get ready for game number 2. But first, I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, and that is going to be Corsair. Now, Corsair is the leading global developer and manufacturer of high performance gear and technology for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. From award-winning PC components and peripherals to premium streaming equipment and smart ambient lighting, Corsair delivers a full ecosystem of products that work together to enable everyone, from casual gamers to committed professionals, to perform at their very best. So be sure to check out Corsair's products. Now we're going to throw it over a short break. We'll be right back with more NACE Starleague. Oh. 2 thumbs up. And welcome back, everyone, to NACE Starleague lower bracket finals. What a way to start off, Trevi. A slobber knocker between UC Berkeley and the University of Central Florida.
I think a slobber knocker is the best way to bring that up. It was a back and forth affair. A lot of mistakes made on both sides. A lot of good movements made by both sides. But ultimately, it was the team that made the final call, that made the decisive moment and seized it, that were able to come out victorious inside of game number one.
Yeah, that was a wild game, to say the least. A very strong performance coming out of Dark Lord on the Wukong, who ended on a 10-4-16 scoreline, Trevi. This Wukong, we kind of hyped it up before we actually got into draft about how it's been starting to pop up more in the jungle meta, but we're clearly seeing why.
Dark Lord shouldn't be allowed to play Wukong anymore inside the series. I'm just going to put that out there. Unless you're planning on taking it away or something like that. I think there was a big problem with it, right? Like, the Wukong got a lot of gold. We got to see how strong it can be. The worrisome thing was Berkeley did have trouble closing out the game with it. It was a very good bit of damage in its early to mid-game presence. Like I said, just ban the champion away from. Just don't deal with it. Don't deal with it. I don't care what your answer is. It's only partial credit. You're not going to be able to stop this man on Wukong.
And you know what? This game could have gone a lot different when we consider just how things played out over on the top side for Central Florida. Not the top side, mid side, but it kind of transferred into the side lanes when it came to OP Quid, who was so close to making all these plays, to getting just that much more coin, but falling just shy of it. Like the ring around the rosies we saw on the turret, Dunk able to get that outplay. But it also shows you the power that OP Quid can bring on this Tryndamere. I expect it to be a pick that might be banned, even if Central Florida weren't able to get the win in that last one. Yes. OP Quid just showing that type of prowess on that champion already shows it's a threat in the draft.
He showed himself to be... I think the best way to put to talk about OP Quid is to talk about him as if he is a weapon to be utilized, because that is exactly what he was used as inside that game. He's like a weapon with reach. He's like a spear or something like that, and he's very sharp on one hand. But the biggest difference maker about a spear is once it can be a very offensive tool, it can be very defensive. But when you get past that, when you get past the spear, when it misses its mark, you are wide open, and we saw that time and time again. It was constant bits of, hey, he takes a swing, he goes in, but all of a sudden he is left open. He doesn't have a shield. He doesn't have a way to parry anything off of anybody. He has to deal with the consequence of him going in. And I respect the fact that he's in it all the way, 100%. Commitment is not an issue for him. But when he commits to some plays, they had after effects that were felt. Even the most decisive moment there for UCF came about from a jab that missed its mark. We are flying through the bans here. Same bans between the two for these first four.
Opting into the same sides. So it's an interesting one to me. But for Central Florida, I guess the counter pick, you do value it a lot when you have someone, when you have solo lanes like they do with Trigger Jumper and OP Quid. But yeah, the bans so far, exactly the same. The red band that we had earlier in draft number 1, that was Draven, so Draven banned away. It's a salty run back. We're going for the salty run back. UC Berkeley. No. You can't. They're telling you it's salty run back time, Travis.
I don't want it. I don't want the salty run back. Get me off this ride. Draven, I get the idea of it. It's in the hands of a master. It's actually a very terrifying champion. They are salty running back. It back, it seems like the Wukong is an issue. I think Lilia did good. I think we saw the problem with Lilia inside that game is when Lilia wasn't able to get in there to do those wilting lullabies. I'm a little bit concerned over that. Not so much the performance, but the fact that we did see them have trouble utilizing the Lilia, getting the Lilia into these fights in the late game and get those wilting lullabies, being able to engage with the team.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Because the early game for Kinchar and Cilia was fantastic, but as you said, the late game with those wilting lullabies, Kinchar just suffered.
Yeah, I mean, it was just pure suffering. Berkeley's just doing the same exact draft. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we call this a salty run back or not. Central Florida aren't doing it. Berkeley is just like, it ain't broke. We ain't fixing it. We're just throwing the same thing back in. And you can't blame them. A change of play style towards that mid game when things started floundering just a bit is all they really needed. The only adaptation that Berkeley really needed for coming into this game too.
I think. Oh,
all right.
Okay, I was gonna say we're starting to see some mid lane bans. Trinimir will be banned. JK, Echo has been picked. This is interesting. You usually see Echo as like a conditional counter. You don't see it as a blind pick. This is the gauntlet being thrown down against Berkeley in the mid lane.
So throwing down that Echo pick. I mean, only one lane has been shown technically, and that would be the top side for UC Berkeley, at least talking in the solo lanes. There's a lot of flexibility you can do with this if you wanted to take the Wukong towards the top side, but I heavily doubt you want to take Ornn into the mid lane. Just keep him in the nice long lane over towards the top side.
You could do it against like assassins in general, but Echo's not one I would want to take it into. You see a Zed, you can make Zed hate everything about life by playing Ornn in the mid lane. Zeds hate it. But yeah, it's interesting. This is absolutely them saying, what do you have? They're not convinced that this Echo is actually in the mid lane. They think it might be a little bit of a shuffle. Lilia is good into Ornn in the top lane, so it could be a possibility, but highly doubtful.
They're calling the next pick for Central Florida. At least the counter pick should be
this is easy
the
Braum.
Mid lane. So we'll see the lock-in for the Braum. I mean, the Braum is a good counter. We talked about it before. You can stop the
Volibear.
Whoa. Okay. This just got interesting. Is this the hope? Is this the hope, Travi? I will call Ravish right now. I don't know. I'll do something to bring him on stream. That really is going top.
I honestly, this is not a bad setup for Lilia top if they do decide they want to go for it. It's not a bad setup for it. Like, it really isn't. The Nami is free, so they do grab that. So the classic Lucian Nami. I'm curious on what Berkeley takes in the mid lane because this just threw a curveball into everything. I think it's still an Echo mid no matter what. But now the question is, does this Lilia go up to the top lane? Victor makes quite a bit of sense.
All right, so Victor, you got that control mage. Lots of poke, lots of zone control that you can get from the Victor. And it's a standard lane. Now I want to see what that counter pick is going to be because I like what Berkeley have done so far. They're still drafting towards the same conditions that they drafted in the first game. Now Central Florida, it's up to them to adapt, and they're showing some level of adaptation. Earlier in the first draft, the ban away was Jace. They replaced it with the Tryndamere ban. So now Jace available. Central Florida are just going right into that one.
So this is support Volibear?
Actually, yeah. Let's question this one real quick.
Yeah. We can't. Like, I see the Jace. I get it. Yeah, it was banned away. Cool. There's a mystery to be solved here. Who? What
Jace.
Is UCF? It's Volibear support. I'm guessing. That's just the support champion that makes the most sense out of all the supports that could make sense.
It could, because you have gone Ezreal, so it is a lane you can leave alone if you want a duo roam to go dive in with the boys, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right? The brainstorm, right? Like let's buy into the Volibear real quick. The Volibear jungle has this really cool thing that he'll be able to do where he'll, once he hits 6, you can roam together with your jungle and you can set up for some dive plays to actually happen. So you can set up these 1v3 moments where you're able to say that tower isn't going to save you and you just plop down onto somebody, right? You see the Victor just immediately jump on him. What is he going to do? He doesn't have any blinks. He has a gravity field. Do you think gravity messes with a bear? Bears are immune to gravity. They'll be fine with it. So it's going to be completely...
You know what, Travi? I just want to wait till we're on the Rift and figure it out. This is... my brain not big enough for this one, Travi. I'm just going to say that much. All right, now
I gotta process this, Eric.
No, my brain. It's my words. And my words don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to talk about our sponsor, and that is going to be AMD. Performance is the rule of the game. Performance is the rule of the league. We're so excited to have AMD as the official graphics card of NACE Starleague. Introducing the AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards, featuring the breakthrough AMD RDNA 2 architecture, engineered to deliver ultra-high performance, ultra-high resolution, visually stunning gaming for all. With AMD, NACE Starleague are powering the next generation of gaming, so be sure to check them out at amd.com. Now, we're ready for that match. It's match point for UC Berkeley. We'll see if they can take it home right now and book that ticket to the finals. We're going to be right back as we load onto the Rift. More NACE Starleague in just a moment.
Where's the Bullet Bear going?
Welcome back, everyone, to NACE Starleague. The draft for game number 2 now done, Travi. And with this, I mean, expectations are still around the same level of things. You know, UC Berkeley have gone pretty heavily for that mid-game spike once again, as well as a very, very strong bottom lane. For Central Florida, they do have some scaling going on to their side. The Echo was not was not picked. It was a placeholder for the Karma. So it will be Ezreal Karma in the bot lane, Volibear into the jungle. And the potential, if Ravish is there, you know, I'm just waiting for him to hear me on this one, for Lilia in the top lane.
Lilia in the top lane. I'm excited. I am coming down from just my mind getting racked by where does the Volibear go. And my answer got, you know, made with, like you were talking about, the Karma being in that bot lane. The Chaos, not as much there, but the Lily in the top lane. I did talk about it. It's actually it's a good matchup to play. I've actually played quite a bit of Lily at top, and playing it into Ornn is so much fun. Not for the Ornn. You actually get to just continuously hit them with hit and runs. As you continuously kind of move in and out into the trades. It's hard for Ornn to actually trade back with you significantly because all of his abilities require for him to be able to tag another ability or be able to follow up with an auto. So it is a bit of a rougher case and scenario for this Ornn in the top lane. I'm expecting some love from the Wukong to be shed up there, though, because, you know, the Wukong was popping off inside the last game, had the target set in the bot lane, but I think an Ezreal Karma is a lot harder to be able to gank, so you give them the respect and you go and get your advantage elsewhere.
I think the eyes are exactly where you just said, Travi. The Wukong. Dark Lord had such a phenomenal performance. To refresh all of you on it, that is a 10-4-16 Wukong that just popped off in the last game. And so much of that was through early game impact, through being able to dive from lane to lane to lane to lane and boost UC Berkeley to a very strong and successful mid game. You got to give credit where credit is due for that Wukong pick. I'm looking for Dark Lord to be able to pop off on it once again.
There's a reason why I also said, hey, yo, it's Dark Lord 70 versus the world right now. Like, it was absolutely that. No, this is a Lily in the jungle.
I'm so disappointed. Ravish, if you could hear me, I'm sorry. I thought, man.
There was hope for it. I mean, it makes sense that Kinjar wants it again. Trigger jumper. Volibear top is good.
I know it makes sense, but still.
I'm with you. As a top lane Lilia connoisseur as well. It's a little bit sad, but I think Kinjar had a very admirable performance on the Lilia. This does change up a little bit of the narrative I was talking about with Dark Lord, and I kind of want to go back to him just because I feel like this Wukong was a central pick early, mid, and late game and was the most consistently performing player, and he was playing at a high ceiling consistently. So keeping my eyes peeled on him and where the sights may be set. Bot lane could be a possible target, but not as likely. The Jace is a possible target, but can be very deadly, especially packing the Ignite. So you do have to play around that carefully. The Volibear is still not a very mobile champion, so could be a possible person to look to tango with.
And both of these junglers are going to be starting towards the top side, so pathing will lead them, at least on some end, towards each other. And you were saying they might not focus towards that bot side. I don't know. Collegiate junglers, they have an obsession with the top lane. They don't really focus on their bottom lanes as much as I'm used to, as much as we're both used to, Travi. But you got to give it to them. There's a lot of talented collegiate marksmen out there. I think J2 and Cody Dunn are very prime examples of that.
I think that's absolutely correct. And oh my gosh, this is why Lucian Nami is a lane that nobody wants to play against. That kind of damage should be illegal.
That was disgusting right there. Able to put the Tie Caller's Blessing. Wow. This is the level 2 showdown that's going on right now. This is not a level advantage. Just a simple walk up with the Blessing. And it's that much threat, but you get those procs so quickly. And from that little taste that they saw at the very start of level 2, can you really blame them, Travi? Like, man, aggro is the name of J2 and Puppers.
Oh, so you're approaching me, you say? Such a rough scenario. Ooh. Wow, another flash being used there. Spiky barely able to survive thanks to those corrupting bots.
Man, what a trade in the early game, and it's all focused around this bot side. As snatched away, Kinjar will grab that Scuttle Crab. Wants to grab the kill onto Dark Lord, but able to hop over the wall. That is Flash Burnt coming out from Kinjar. The fight continuing over to the bottom side as J2 falls low. Arcane Shift will finish him off. Now Cody Dunn looking to finish the deal onto Puppers. She flashes over the wall, gets caught out by the ball. It's a double kill for Cody Dunn.
There were so many things that happened in that. So, fun thing that happened inside that exchange. Not fun for any Berkeley fans out there. The bot lane found themselves missing their abilities, super hardcore, and all the poke got the lane. Oh, I might not get a time to talk.
Oh no, they're gonna fight.
Okay, they're
gonna fight. It's TJ and Dunk. This is the way they've been playing in the game number one. They want someone to die. They don't care that they're both beefy boys, the tankiest in the world. It's a wet noodle fight. It doesn't matter. Someone needs to be fed to the blood gods, Travi.
Well, bot lane, there was some tributes made, so they're just trying to follow suit. They're like, wow, it's so fun up bot lane. Let's fight.
No, they're not following bot lane. They're doing their own thing. This right here. This is WrestleMania up here, Travi.
Is this WrestleMania?
Yeah, this is WrestleMania. Okay, who's the heel? Who's the face? I'm just gonna say, Berkeley, you guys already beat Central Florida, so you guys are kind of the heel in this one by default. Actually, I hold that thought because the snare's about to come out. Cody Dunn, look at it, take him down, he will find it! It's a 2 versus 2. A shutdown comes up, picked up by Puppers, but the big thing right there is that is kill number 3 for Cody Dunn.
You gotta respect the Ezreal. So this is the idea that they have in this situation is, hey, yo, we're going to just jump into his face. The problem with that is it makes it very easy for Ezreal to just get his full combo unleashed onto you, which makes it very, very difficult to be able to do anything with. That CC, we all missed. We saw it miss. He has Sheen. This is an Ezreal that's very hard to deal with. The bubble doesn't connect. You can't do anything. It's just the unfortunate fact. So seeing that continuously happen, that's the second time it's happened. Spiky Buffalo does not have flash.
Does not have flash. A couple more pops coming out of OP Quid. 300 health for Spiky Buffalo, so we'll be fine. Underneath this tower, just gonna farm up. Look at the flank though. Dark Lord is now coming in, setting up for the dive. Will be Central Florida. Hopping in with the hammer. OP Quid gets the kill. Now the retreat coming out from 2 different directions. Dark Lord has been spotted. Kinjar's going for the execution. Gets caught out just barely on the back end. So Dark Lord will grab that kill.
Good idea to try and just deny the kill. Possibly could have gone just the other direction just to run away, go down instead of up. But still found themselves getting caught by the Wukong, just the edge of the Nimbus cloud. But important things that are happening. Wukong has gotten their first kill, so Dark Lord was a person that was a central factor. But now, this is a completely different pace inside the game. Inside the last game, the early mid game is a lot of where we were looking for Berkeley to take and make their advantages. They have quite a bit more scaling for themselves when you consider the fact that the only thing they changed was the support in mid lane. So this is a completely different ball game for them. Okay, the bloodbath is continuing.
Ooh. Oh, the ultimate pop by TJ just hops right over the ram. So stylish, but the fight between these 2 top laners, someone please send a jungler and put this to rest already. They're just constantly swinging at each other. And this brings us back to our conversation, Travi. Now we got a lull in the action. Who's the face? Who's the heel? I'm just saying.
Face is Trigger Jumper.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely.
He just countered a spear by doing a front flip over it.
All right, now that we got that settled, we can go back to the bot lane and focus on the fights coming out here because there comes out that magic. You look at lockdown onto Dark Lord. The Cyclone's not enough to save him. Kinjar just barely gets out with the slither of health as the exhaust goes down onto J2. But in the mid lane, a 1-for-1 trade between OP Quid and Spiky Buffalo. We got a bloodbath, Travi.
UCF is making use of their chaos, but look at the target selection here. Cody?
The name of the game is Chaos as Puppers lands a beautiful bubble onto Cody. Natural Q goes out from Zyro, only lands on the minions, gonna shove in that wave and keep the bot lane of UC Berkeley against their turret.
Doing just a great job of that. Cody done!
Oh, Cody will hop away. The flash comes right back out. True shot barrage lands onto J2. Cody smells it. He wants it so bad, but underneath the towers, J2. Not find it right there. Kinjar is hovering in the area. They're bringing down OP Quid. if they can keep him down long enough, you know, they might be fishing for kills pretty soon.
They might just be doing, and they're looking like some juicy bait right now. Kinjar realizes this. Dark Lord has been spotted topside. They know that they can press the advantage if they want, but the advantage they're pressing is this Drake. It is a Cloud Drake, and it will be secured by UCF.
So first Drake of the game, picking up a lot of control over towards this bottom side of the map, Central Florida. As I said earlier, 3 kills on Cody Dunn. He is taking that recall, going to cash in on some of that gold he was able to acquire. First Drake, Central Florida, as well as the gold lead for Central Florida 8 minutes into this.
Just this is a good turnaround for UCF inside this game. They really found a lot more of what they want to do, and it does come back down to how they're playing around the map. This is a much better game from Cody Dunn. At the very beginning of the day, you and me were both talking about, hey, Cody Dunn is the player that once he's able to get some early kills, if he gets some early gold, this is somebody who is a very reliable carry. Got shut down heavily on the Misfortune last time around. This time on the Ezreal, finding exactly what is needed. He is landing all the abilities needed, dodging out on these bubbles. He's really, really putting on a clinic on this Ezreal.
And now, meanwhile, in the mid lane, OP Quid's been doing a pretty good job in handling. Actually, we can never focus anywhere but the bot lane, because this is where the action is at all times. Now Dark Lord has the Cyclone, has the Flash, now looking for an engagement. Pops the Cyclone, doesn't get it onto Zyro, able to clip it just barely underneath the tower with the calling. J2 will clean up. Now the retaliation is Kinjar coming over towards the bottom lane, jumping over the ramp once again is Trigger Jumper. It's in the name, bro. Now Trigger looking for dunk. Won't be able to get much, but the fight continues in the bot lane as J2 is able to take down one. Cody Dunn looking to walk away with the Mystic Shot. Backs up. There goes the tidal wave and a fall going up in the top side as Trigger Jumper will take down Dunk. The fight is not done because Spiky Buffalo looking to run away. OP Quinn will take him down, but the fall will belong to UC Berkeley as they get the double to finish up this prolonged fight.
They get the double. The only dub on the map for UCF is the one-on-one with the Volley and the Ornn in the top lane. And they can't translate that to any objectives. They can't translate that to any significant plates. This is so huge for Berkeley, and it's the breath of life that needed to be breathed into this bot lane.
And the bad guys are looking good right now, Travi. The bad guys are looking.
They tend to do that.
It's UC Berkeley.
They tend to do that.
I feel like this should be a little bit of a contention between each other, because this cast is from like what, C to Shiny C, California IA over here, North Crakalaki over there with you, Travi, and we got UC Berkeley from California. No, Florida, not the same side of the East Coast, but you know, from C to Shining C.
It's still the same side. It's just, you know, further south.
Kinjar looking to set up a play in the mid lane is OP Quid, getting a solo kill. Now back towards that top lane with Kinjar under the tower. Dunk gets dunked as Kinjar will grab that kill.
Yeah, under the tower, you probably have to remain as this victor now. Spiky Buffalo is... He did not have a great game one against OP Quid. Oh no, he won?
Tidal wave. Puppers throws out the bubble, and now she is in retreat. Cody Dunn gets another double kill, 5-2-2 on this Ezreal. He had already completed his Essence Reaver earlier, now cashing in even more 11 minutes into this game. Attempted dive looking to be set up from Kinjar and OP Quid. Not going to continue with it, but a lot of income coming in on this Jace.
4-2 as the Eclipse completed. This is an item that everybody already has been looking at, like, wow, such an overtuned item. Gives you lethality, gives you lifesteal, it gives you so much burst potential inside of these fights, and we are seeing that time and time again. I was just talking about Spiky has not had a great look so far in the series, has been finding himself in a rough situation, and it's been OP Quid who's been pushing that envelope, making it to where Spiky has looked so uncomfortable inside the matchup, playing these aggressive melee champions. Of course, Jace can, you know, give himself a little bit of range, but every time we cut over to him, it's stop hammer time. He is absolutely breaking down Spiky Buffalo at every instance. We do see a possible gank from Wukong, but he's going to get spotted out. Oh, he's going in deep.
Oh, he's going behind the tower. No, not even behind the tower. He's trying to take a creative route, but there is a control ward there, so he does get spotted out. I don't think he noticed Kinjar, though. Kinjar is behind the turret right now, so a counter gank potentially in the wings right now.
Yeah, they don't know that Kinjar is there either. This is gonna be a 3v3 skirmish.
And a 1v1 skirmish in the top side, because you know they're gonna fight at the same time.
Oh, you know they are. They're waiting. They have a mutual agreement.
Ooh, a Mantra Q, so good. Now Zyro looking to put in the work. Tidal Wave going to go down, but Zyro taking too much damage by himself will be okay as Puppers goes down. Now J2 able to bring the fight right back to Central Florida. Cody Dunn, though, has a lot of income, has a lot of time to work with. Here comes the shots from J2. Can't finish the job. Dark Lord almost shuffles to the side, but a double kill for Cody Dunn. A spiky Buffalo finally gets the shutdown, finally gets the cleanup, but look at your mid lane. OP Quid takes it.
Yeah, OP Quid is making it into a wasteland, demolishing any structures that he sees fit. Spiky, like you said, great on him. Gotta shut down, gotta kill. Very much so needed, and that is the best play you could possibly make, because let's be real. How are you going to hold this mid tower versus OP Quid at this current moment in time? Needs to get online with that itemization and get something going. Herald is still in Kinjar's pocket as well. Would have loved to have had a successful time bot lane, lived, and have dropped it, so that way they could have grabbed some plates before they had fell apart. But UCF, they still have some more things to even break this game up even further. TJ is up in the mid lane. He's looking to jump onto somebody. He's had enough of dealing with his Ornn.
So is the rest of Central Florida. Tidal Wave comes out, gets the knock upon the trigger, so nowhere. He's not going to find fight. Dark Lord might, though. He doesn't have Cyclone just yet, so that will not be the case, actually. Central Florida will just get this uncontested, so you see Berkeley just mistimed on their tools. They don't have anything to really contest these Drakes. Doesn't look like they really want to fight for it in the grand scheme of things, but Central Florida playing heavily towards this bottom side.
I was halfway expecting Trigger Jumper to just do a front flip over the Tsunami and try to engage that, to be honest. just from what we've seen top lane, just seems like this is how he plays Volibear. It's what I like to see as well. He's all about using those springboard moves. He's got that arsenal. He knows how to utilize it.
Here we go again. Here we go again, over and over with these two in the top side. The bot lane turret is going to fall. No fight coming out. Only a siege from Central Florida. But again, Trigger Jumper just hops back in, back and forth. A big thing here is he is trying to get some control in zoning out Dunk. It's nothing too big just yet, but pushing in this wave, OP Quid is going to respond with to set up a dive. Old Forge God coming out. Knockup found. It's on the Trigger Jumper. Would have much preferred if that was on the wave, because now Dunk is dead to rights. OP Quid, one more shot, gets the kill.
And you try to use it to try and CC Trigger Jumper, and that's exactly what happens. They do not have supporting vision to stop that kind of play from happening, and this is the importance of what happens when your outer tower and mid lane is first lost. OP Quid, what are you doing walking in there?
Wrong side of the map to be taking your escape route, and that's a shutdown going on to Dark Lord. He will be able to cash in that gold. Now the response for Central Florida is towards the mid lane.
It expired, so...
Interesting move here. Okay, so it was expiring right there.
Yeah.
Forced to put it down. It looks like it will get a charge up. Dark Lord trying to come in, and now here we go. Wilting Lullaby goes out. J2 gets snoozed, but will be able to hit that alarm in time. Still fishing for Mystic Shots is Cody Dunn, as Central Florida are going to back off.
Yeah, this is the smart move. Don't get overzealous. Don't get overconfident. Continue shooting off. Play your strategy the way you need to. We have seen between these two teams multiple hiccups happen, and the difference has been how they've answered them. How have they been able to take advantage of the slip-ups? And the best way for both of these teams to try and neutralize what the other team has been, making things work for them is to, stop having the hiccups. Make sure that you're able to stop having those moments of indecisiveness or weak moments that come about in these plays. This is just a straight-up solo kill.
Yeah, OP Quid is so strong right now. Only the Mythic done for Dunk, and OP Quid, 2 items done on top of his boots, so he brings the damage to take down that Ornn. Good solo kill coming out of Central Florida.
Boots are made for walking. That's just what they do. Watch out, as OP Quid running wild all over you. If you keep this up, you cannot answer him. Yet again, it's a different look than the Tryndamere. Jace is not like this tyrant in that is known as Tryndamere that cannot die. So it's a little bit less threatening. But at the same time, nobody's very far ahead, so nobody can answer this Jace in the side lanes. And his poke combined with Ezreal is... Man, I don't know what to say that could help you out in that situation.
And this is where Berkeley are starting to suffer. That poke you were just mentioning. So many Mystic shots coming out of Cody Dunn. The Shock Blast of OP Quid does a massive amount of damage now that he has that Eclipse and Manamune completed. So that is tough to deal with if you're UC Berkeley when you have this mid-game composition that is short range, that is looking to get into the face of Central Florida. But if you get popped down, if you get a poke down, before you're able to find that engage, it is done. Doesn't look good for Berkeley in that situation.
It's so hard because their composition is very short range too, right? Like they have dashes on the Lucian Wukong to be able to like close the distance a bit, but it's not enough for them. They have to weather a storm of poke or a storm of wilting lullabies, Volibear. There's just so much stuff that you have to deal with, and even when you think you get close to them, Mantra shield. Everybody has a shield and movement speed. Okay, well, we don't catch up to them. We can't fight them. They all have a gigantic shield on them. The problem is they just don't have a stable way to be able to add the damage. Here's a catch out. This is 4 members for a Volibear.
Going on to Dunk, they'll be able to take him down. And with that kill, there's not much places they can be punished. It was done before the Drake did spawn, and no grab of the Herald from Central Florida.
Yeah, no grab. Cyclone wasn't utilized either. Good job.
So waiting to pop that onto Kinjar. Has to flash, but will get another knockup. J2 grabs that kill. Now looking for Zyro. Cody is low, so it's going to be hard for him to contest. But it's harder for J2 when the poke finds it. Mark, Dark Lord will survive thanks to that heal being burnt. But Berkeley, that poke, the damage adds up.
There was a very big thing that happened in that moment in time. And it's one of those very small things. There will be a mid tower that will be answered for this. So Jace gets that. The big thing is, and I'm looking at Kinjar on this one, Wilting Lullaby was up, had it only on the Wukong, and got a little bit greedy for it. Should have just used the Wilting Lullaby in that very instance. And I think, actually, if you get that Wukong going sleepy mode, the Lilia lives because the rest of the team was so far away, and you possibly have yourself in a situation where Wukong might actually die, or they might be forced back because the HP bars are just that low. So a little bit of a misplay coming out from UCF, getting a little bit greedy on holding on to certain abilities. OP Quid is on the hunt, on the prowl. Huffers just taking an immense amount of damage.
That Eclipse, last Whisper done on top of that, already working onto his onto completing his 3rd item. So really strong right now. Now looking for the Cyclone onto Kinjar. This is going to force out the stopwatch, but it's not really going to do much right here. That's a stopwatch now down and a pick acquired for UC Berkeley.
Yeah, and see, this is my problem. You then, after I said something about the Wilting Lullaby, used it in that instance where there's nobody around. Like, I cannot help but to feel like that was done to smite me, in spite of me. But yeah, you can't be that far forward. Put some respect on it. You know Dark Lord knows PlayStation. I mean, does he not have that egregious lead that he had in game number 1? No, he doesn't. Is he still somebody who knows how to play Wukong and knows how to heavily utilize him? Yes. Don't go out too far. This Lucian is getting gold. It's a Gale Force Lucian, and he's going to be able to secure these picks, these moments where you get off to the side lanes, or whenever you're off to the side, will be able to follow up. What I want to see from Berkeley is set up some more vision and constantly abuse those mistakes, because it seems like UCF is making more of them as this game is going on.
Well, for UC Berkeley, you still have Dunk in the side lane over in the bottom side. Dark Lord taking a lot of punishment. Got to be careful when OP Quid is there. And they're trying to contest, they're trying to defend this push, but look at the poke. Central Florida keep landing it. True Shot Barrage, taking a good chunk out of the health bars that they contest over on this top side, potentially bluffing for Baron.
Yeah, this is a brilliant move. The problem is they do have vision onto it, so they can see if they end up peeling off. Warren does not have TP. Dunk cannot be here for the fight. This actually could just be a big fight for them.
All right, here comes the slam in from Trigger Jumper. Hops in. Now in the back line is Dark Lord. Gets some good knockups, but gets dropped in the process. Tough trade now for Central Florida as they lose 2 in the process. Spiky Buffalo getting the double kill on that one, utilizing that poke. Shock Blast, Mystic Shots galore coming out from Central Florida. But the objective was done for Berkeley. They needed to stop the Baron. They didn't only stop it, they got a kill lead.
Not only just the great kills on that, they got it on the key member. Victor has been needing gold desperately. Really wants to get ahead in this game. As that Ludens has that hourglass completed, but needs more. Got 2 kills. They came out on top, and that was without the Ornn.
This is good standings right now. J2 on the solution. 7, 4, and 5, looking to try and contest with what Cody Dunn's been doing, because Cody Dunn has been a stud for this early game, this bot lane that was played so heavily by Central Florida. And Cody Dunn's been this reliable cog for Central Florida. You know, every match that Central Florida has played, you can always rely on him to scale up for that late game, you know, to be this contender in the marksman role for Central Florida to pop off, to shine. Cody Dunn, excellent job at that, but now he's being tested in this mid game as Berkeley are trying to do a comeback, and it's starting to focus onto the bot lane for Central Florida as they get a quick kill onto Dunk.
Yeah, that is a quick kill. Nobody's in position to defend against it. You can see this is UCF saying, all right, we're just going to pick apart a member that we know we can blow up. Ornn 0-5 now. Was 0-4 before that tragedy struck. And it has been the story of Dunk's game here. Dunk has not had a fun time playing the Ornn this time around. Has found himself beaten, bullied, and bruised in just about every single lane assignment that they put him in. He can't even catch waves unless the entire team is doing something on the other side of the map.
Now holding the line, University of Central Florida coming towards the Drake. They do have an inside track on this one, but you look at UC Berkeley, they do not care about the Drake. They'll head right down the mid lane, look to take a tower.
Yeah, they take it and they just move up here. Dunk, they're so spread out though. This is actually a bit of a weird moment. Call the Forge God.
Tough one. Here comes Call the Forge God. A double knockup thanks to the tidal wave. It finds the back line. Now diving in is going to be Dark Lord as he puts down the Cyclone. Able to get the knockup on the 2. Trigger Jumper will fall. A double kill going over to J2. Dunk slams into the wall. Doesn't get the knockup onto OP Quid, but Dark Lord will as he gets another Cyclone proc onto OP Quid. OP Quid brings a lot of damage. J2 going to taste a little bit of that one, and now OP Quid is fishing for the assassinations, fishing for that poke, and somehow it's UCF that end up with a deficit. They lose their jungler, they lose their top laner, but the poke is keeping them into this as OP Quid fishing for more now, looking for puppers, will not be able to end her. Spiky Buffalo returns fire over the wall is Dark Lord, finally putting down OP Quid, and now Cody Dunn looking to get the heck out of Dodge, but gets shut down by Spiky Buffalo. UC Berkeley take the team fight win.
Why? This is not just a team fight, this is Baron. Why? Why flip it like that? UCF, they go in too deep. They can't keep all the water above their head. They are finding themselves drowning at this moment in time. The gold lead is shifting. The Baron will be such a nice deterrent. Kimchar can't steal this. He's zoned away. There's nothing he can do. This is just Baron. Simple, clean, and easy for the side of Berkeley.
Baron, and you're gifted another kill in the form of Kinjar. It will be a staggered respawn, so this is the only window that Central Florida have for a little bit to try and set the lane states to be in a good spot to survive this Baron empowered play that Berkeley are going to do.
Yeah, they can survive it for a bit. Yeah, I'm still baffled here. UCF, they had it all. They had everything that they could possibly want, and it just took them one team fight to lose it all so swiftly. Now they're in a situation where they're going to struggle. This team composition does not have wave clear that they can reliably deal with inside these push scenarios, and they're still splitting like there's lane assignments. Trigger Jumper is trying to guard an outer top lane tower while there's action happening mid lane. They're forcing down an inhibitor tower possibly.
I'm sorry, this is cracking me up. We're 27 minutes into this, and it looks like we're at the first minute of the game. Trigger Jumper and Dunk are just bound to fight forever in this top side. Yeah, as I said, it's the long match, Travi. This is WrestleMania going on up here, but OP Quid is being a little demolition man as he will split push the bot lane tower.
Yeah, Jace is a very efficient split pusher. A little bit of a base race. Lilia needs to get back to base here. This is inhibitor towers that are going to be contested. Jace needs to recall, get back in time. Spiky can teleport at any given moment. OP Quid is actually looking to stay around.
And OP Quid does not have teleport. He took the ignite. He went for the kill lane. Now waiting in the wing. Spiky Buffalo runs low. He flashes! OP Quid drops. Spiky Buffalo winning that team fight. You see Berkeley are gonna go for the win right here, right now, going after Kinchar. Out comes the Cyclone. Cody Dunn fighting tooth and nail to stay in this tournament. This is their tournament lives right now, but only the bot lane is alive for Central Florida.
This is terrible scenario for them, but they do, like you said, have the bot lane still available. They have Cody Dunn. He's going to be able to lay out so much poke that's going to be hard for them to deal with. They have to respect them. If Cody Dunn gets caught out of position, this is the game guaranteed. But they're looking to push for the end.
Going for
Gravity Field.
Going for it right now. Already one down. Puppers. She will fall. Still waiting for the tower. Look at Cody Dunn. Cody's still big in this one. Cody is still fed in this one. Zyro drops. Now Cody will go after ADC. Will be able to take down the ADC. Cody with the Mystic shots, looking to aim after Dunk. Throws in another one. Can't seem to land it. Dunk will flash away. True Shot Barrage comes out. A slither of health remains, and Trigger Jumper is there. Dinner is done. Trigger Jumper grabs it. Only Dark Lord left alive as UCF will survive.
That's the combo meal they were looking to devour, but look at how much it cost them. It cost them nearly everything. A bare Nexus is all that stands between Berkeley and going and punching their ticket into the finals.
This is intense right now. 5 seconds left before the dragon spawns. University of Central Florida looking to grab up this Dragon Soul. Dark Lord over the wall. He has Smite, he has Flash, he has Cyclone. OP Quid has him in his sights. Dark Lord trying to play this carefully. He will just forfeit it. Gonna walk away. Not contest the Soul. So Dragon Soul picked up for UCF, Travi. And with their Nexus towers down, they're gonna have to fight with everything they have to stay in this tournament.
There is a ward inside of the base that has me. My anxiety is peaking right now. I just see that one ward sitting there by an inhibitor, and I'm like, oh, they teleport to that, and it's over. It's over. Dunk can't be the one to do it. They need Buffalo to. Unfortunately, his is on cooldown, but oh man, one teleport.
I can feel it right now. You could cut the tension with a knife. Goodness. Hand is shaky right now, Travi. I am so tense.
Bro, I'm not even in the game. I'm just in the sidelines. I'm holding up a sign. That's all I got. This is an epic match between these two. These are two teams. You said it best, Eric, when you said either one of these two teams could end up in the finals, and they would absolutely deserve it. They are both, even if this ends up being a 2-0, both these teams have fought tooth and nail. Call the Forge God not hitting onto the Jace, but neither one of these teams are saying die. Neither one of these teams are letting the other punch the nail into the coffin of this game number 2.
So a ultimate going down right there is not the biggest thing to be concerned about, because Call of the Forge God at this point is like 65 seconds on the cooldown. If you look at the timers, it's going to be back up by the time Baron does spawn, so they will have that for the team fight. But that is a good game plan to come out of OP Quid, just being able to pressure enough to force out ultimates. It's going to make it very hard for Dunk to be effective when he shows up to these fights. But look at J2 going after Trigger Jumper. He was trying to get the one-on-one with them. He gets it. He gets it. He actually gets it. Trigger Jumper is down. You see Berkeley, and they have some room to work with. Baron is spawning.
This is the problem that they have. They don't have a front line. They can't take the arsenal, the onslaught that is Berkeley. Berkeley are going to look to position around this Baron. They can secure it. They can bait it. Whichever way, it's a dub for them.
All right, out comes the Scrying Orbs. Over the wall, OP Quid. Baron wall. Can put in those shot blasts. Not spotted out. trying to scout out potentially where Berkeley is. Teleport now being used. Dunk is going to show up over here. Baron now being started off, trying to get the steal. Is going to be OP Quid. The timing not right. Smited away. Berkeley,
Kinjar.
They smell it. They feel it. Here comes the call of the Forge God. Kinjar has to flash over the wall. And UC Berkeley, it's the Baron power play. A chunk of damage on the Spiky. But this is the play for Berkeley.
It is the play, indeed. They have Ocean Soul, so they can heal up very quickly. Dunk needs to be careful. One catch is all this game needs. As you were talking about earlier, the tension can be cut with a knife. The game state can be blown up, and so quickly the culling does so much damage.
Be Quid for the shot blast, and there we go. Cyclone gonna come out. Here comes the knock up from the tidal wave, and Trigger Jumper is dismantled. Kinjar looking to find more, but it's not gonna be the case because look at the rest of UC Berkeley. They're not gonna bother with the mid lane. They're going for the bot.
They are going to secure this bot tower. They have Baron buff. They have the members needed. The True Shot Barrage does some good damage, but this is do or die in the pressure.
Forge God's back up.
Thick.
And now here we go. UCF are trying to push right now. They're trying to get Berkeley out of here, but the engage tools are available for UC Berkeley. They have to be careful not to overstep. They can be capitalized on any second. UC Berkeley just going to back off, not going to go for any more.
I think that is the respectable move to do. Trigger Jumper is coming up here soon. We'll be able to just run at you if you're fighting inside these inhibitor towers. You have cooldowns that you want to just go back. You have unspent gold. Go ahead and spend it. Your last team fight is possibly coming up. And I want to reiterate, they have to figure out a way to deal with T1. J2 is so disgusting on this Lucian. 15, 5, and 7. And has eviscerated the sole tank, the sole frontliner of this team. He is beefy as can be, but this man has no problem chewing through all that beef.
Yeah, J2 has just looked so good on this Lucian, especially comboed with Puppers on this Nami. She's looked fantastic thus far. Those early game aggressive plays they made, really setting up a lot for the pacing of this game, just being so bot lane focused. And now UC Berkeley, after such a war with UCF, they're barely getting their foot back in the driver's seat. They're still dealing with a Dragon Souled UCF. Now, it's not the worst Dragon Soul to be contending against. Elder Drake will be spawning in the next 40 seconds. And you have to feel that's going to be the next team fight timer.
Oh, it absolutely is. This neutral objective is going to blow up into a team fight easily. They're looking for a pick onto Dunk. This is a big one if they're able to get him.
Oh, Dunk's in the wrong place. He's taking so much damage. Trying to return some of it. Look at the movements coming out of UC Berkeley. The guard after Zyro solo. And there we go. Cal State Berkeley. Excuse me. The University of California Berkeley looking for more as J2 hops forward with the triple kill. Now Cody is the only survivor. But this is it right here. UC Berkeley, they brought a war to UCF. Cody Dunn fighting for his life right now. But when there's 5 members of UC Berkeley and an exposed Nexus, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a grand final. UC Berkeley have just punched their ticket to a date with Maryland on April 30th.
The revenge continues. The revenge tour, where one revenge was not cashed in upon. We see another one born anew. Berkeley is going to, as you just said, Eric, they are going to have their moment to try and avenge themselves. And what a game to do it on. You said it best. A war was fought. Both teams never giving an inch. And it turned into the teams who were able to force the inch. To force the mile. That was Berkeley.
Whoa, my dude. Whoa. That was a 2-0. I just want to remind you, Trevi.
You got some sweat right here. Are you sweating after that game?
I'm not gonna lie, my heart was beating for that game because, again, this is top 3. This is the final stage. This is eliminations right now. For UC Berkeley, they were able to best this team again, and Central Florida, they were just feeling the return. They were just dying to get back into it, to get their revenge. But unfortunately, just coming up shy. I do want to take a moment to give credit where credit is due for University of Central Florida. They've had a phenomenal season so far to get towards to get this top 3 finish. Trigger Jumper, the weak side Wonder Boy, Kinjar, some spectacular Chad side jungling that we saw before. OP Quid works so well on that Jace, Cody Dunn, and Zyro, a dream team for the bottom lane. We are saying goodbye to them, but it's very heartfelt, for what they were able to bring for this tournament to get that top 3 finish.
I mean, think about it. They had a fantastic regular season. They didn't have the desired start that they probably would have wanted going into it. Had to fight for their life throughout the lower bracket, but this team definitely has nothing to look back onto with major regrets. They had a phenomenal showing, but it is Berkeley that's able to pick up the dub. And I want to showcase some of the things that we got to see inside that game. We got to see the pop-offs. It was a very bot-centric game. The Lucian 2 times in a row. It didn't look hot inside this game number 2. I'm going to be real with you. There is not many times that I see a Lucian come back from a deficit like that. That was a thing of beauty going into game number 2. And even the Victor, right? We got to see that start to find its way back in off of some fantastic picks.
All right, well, I wiped some of this sweat out of my eyes. We're going to throw it over to a segment called the LLS Hero of the Game. I want to give a shout out to Jaden. LLS is making an impact in the cancer community, which includes leukemia survivor Jaden. Prior to his T-cell leukemia diagnosis, Jaden was a well-rounded athlete playing almost every sport. After a series of symptoms, which included an arm fracture and terrible headaches, he was seen by several doctors who provided the devastating news of his leukemia diagnosis in November 2018. He immediately began aggressive chemotherapy and regular spinal tap. Today, Jaden is 15 and in remission, remaining healthy, and is an honor roll student. He's a proud brother of his 6 siblings, a ball boy for his high school football team, and loves to play Madden on his PS4. LLS provided life-changing support to Jaden and his family, and they are forever grateful. Alongside Hero Jaden, we like to recognize the LLS Hero of the Game as the player that made the biggest impact in the match played, whether it be a clutch play, a sacrifice provided, or providing strong leadership when it mattered most. And today's Hero of the Game is going to be Puppers. So welcome, Puppers. I'm going to start off with a straightforward question. How does it feel to make it into the finals?
Pretty crazy. I think we had a relatively easy time in the regionals. I think we just all played really well together, but losing the previous game to UMD kind of lit a fire under our asses, and we've been scrimming more and playing together more and getting ready.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was a very big fan of the way you guys were playing this lane dominant style with the Lucian Lutz in game number 1, and then you guys bring out the the iconic Lucian Nami. Is that just y'all's style? Is that just the way you want to play the game? It's just take control from the get-go?
Yeah, we're definitely very aggressive laners, both of us. My AD carry, T1, J1, likes to main Draven and solo queue, so he was banned in these games, so you didn't see him. But as you know, Draven's a very aggressive lane opponent, and so we sort of channeled that with the Lucian pick.
So you guys are now making it to the finals. You have Maryland waiting for you in the finals. How does it feel making this road all the way from the start? What were the expectations like, and how does it feel now? Is this what you were expecting? Is this the type of performance you thought you guys were going to bring? Has this exceeded it, or is just another day at the office for you?
Yeah, so it's really crazy for me, actually, because I only joined the team this semester, and I wasn't playing with the team last semester, and I kind of just joined on a whim. So going this far and realizing, wow, we actually have a chance at winning is kind of insane to me.
I am very curious for you, since this is a little bit of revenge. Do y'all have that on the mind? Is that what fueled y'all inside this game? Were you guys like, yes, we're going to go into the finals, we're going to crush them? How does it feel going against a person who sent you down to the lower bracket?
Yeah, it's definitely scary, especially having to win twice. But I think, as I said before, they kind of lit a fire under our asses, and we're hoping we can, bring out some new picks or new play styles they might not be expecting. especially to counter all their like Talon Aries, just they're sitting in our jungle 24/7. So yeah, we're trying some new things and working things out as a team, and I think it'll go well. We'll see how it goes.
All right, puppers. I'm gonna ask this from you. All right. Give me your best on this one. All right. You are facing
right.
Maryland, as we said earlier. I want you to give a message to them right now. I want you to trash talk something, hype yourselves up. If it's trash talk or hyping up, whatever route you want to take. The stage is yours. Give me it right now.
All right, Maryland, you shot us down before, but we're only going to come back stronger because we know how much better we can play. So be ready because you're going down.
All right. Trash talk nonetheless. That's the way we want to see it, right?
Not a good trash
Yeah,
talk.
I mean, hey, look, you want to bring him down? I'm here to see it. Let's see what exactly happens going into next week. I do want to go ahead and ask you have anything you would like to say to anybody who's been supporting you guys or supporting yourself? Any shout outs you would like to throw out there?
To all my family, my brother especially, all my brother's friends who are supporting me, my boyfriend, Cal Woman in Gaming, everybody who's supported me through this, that's super great. And anyone who's supported my fellow teammates throughout this has been so nice, and I don't think we could have done it without you. So thank you guys.
So wholesome. You love to hear it. Well, want to thank you, puppers, for joining us here on the desk, and we wish you the best of luck in the grand finals against Maryland. So, what a match, Travi. What a banger of a match. As I said, it was a 2-0, but it did not feel like it. Those were some twists and turns that Berkeley had to take to best UCF.
It was a war. It was fought with every resource in the tank as well. And I think you said it best. Either one of the two teams could have gone on and you could have been like, wow, they definitely deserved it. It was hard fought. Both these teams were really strong. And it was Berkeley that was able to come out on top. And you got to look at some solid decision making in the late game that came out from this squad to really catapult themselves into these victories.
And what a fantastic interview with Puppers as well. Always great to see more women in the scene. We need to see more women players. So when you see players like her, always rooting for them, always hoping for the best. But as we close out for the day, we are going to talk about one more of our sponsors, and that is going to be Folio. Get the digital edge, generate leads and conversions. It's more important than ever to build your presence and ensure that you can personalize and share information right from your mobile to both text and email. With iFolio's digital platform, you can easily create and share modern business card pages, custom landing pages, and impactful presentations with calls to action, click to call, and click to email. Patented analytics allow you to see what specific people are viewing. So there is no digital portfolio platform more powerful than iFolio. Find out more today at iFolio or ifoliocorp.com. So a thank you to iFolio, but that is gonna do it here on the casting desk. Any closing statements you want to say, Trevi? Because it's been a blast having you here.
Yes, this was a lovely date. Thank you for asking me out today, Eric. I really enjoyed myself. The candlelight was great. It was a great main course, honestly. It was absolutely scrumptious. So thank you so much. And I'm excited to see what the finals have to store for us. So make sure everybody tunes in for that April 30th. I want to see more of this. This has been very fun to watch, and the finals is sure to be an absolute certified banger.
Again, so you're not going to want to miss that. You just heard Travi. That is April 30th for the finals of Maryland versus the University of California, Berkeley. But for the casting desk, my name has been Eric Deserex Beltran. Joining me was Travis D. Powers. I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on NACE Starleague.